Hi everybody. I'm going to try to make a video. I don't know what I'm doing. But we're gonna try this and see how it goes, and hopefully it will help me be able to explain some things to you a little bit better. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go over our lesson one. On lesson one, if you either can get it out and look at it at the same time as you're doing this, or if you want to write these answers down and stuff and then go back to lesson one, however you can do this and make it work for yourself, that's fine with me. So first of all, I want to show you this. This is called a not graph. This is called a coordinate plane. Coordinate plane is broken up into 4 quadrants, 4 spaces. On lesson one, you needed to first state where B was. B is in, I'm sorry, first state where A was, duh. A is in quadrant 2 and B is in quadrant 1. It doesn't start here. It starts here and goes around this way. So B is 1, A is 2, C is 3, and D is 4. Okay. The next thing they ask you to do is they ask for the numbers that go with certain points. And the first point is the origin. The origin is right where these 2 main lines in your coordinate plane go together. This line right here is called the x-axis, and this line right here is called the y-axis, and where they meet together is called the origin, and that's at 0, 0. No, that's not an owl face. That's 0, 0. 0, 0 is the origin. Then all the other ones that they asked for are right here. You might have to zoom in on your video if you can. E is 0, 6. Point F is at negative 6, 4. G is at 4, 0. H is at 9, negative 6. I is at 8, 7. J is at negative 8, 9. K is at 0, negative 9. L is at 10, 0. And M is negative 7, negative 4. Notice that each one of those sets of numbers is inside parentheses. That's called an ordered pair when you have the 2 numbers like this. The first number, it always is going to tell you how far you go on your x-axis from the origin. So if it's positive 3, you'd go over 1, 2, 3. If it's negative 3, you'd go backwards 1, 2, 3. If the second number, those are your y coordinates. They tell you where you go on the y-axis. So again, you always start at the origin. And so if it's 7, you'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or if it was negative, you'd go down. So then what happens is you take those 2 numbers, you go over on your x, and you go up or down on your y, and that's where your point would be. That's all stuff that you guys should know. It should all be review. Okay, so after that, what you had to do was you were given these, I don't know if I can get that any closer. You were given these ordered pairs right across up here. I don't know if you can see them very well. I tried to put them in colors for a certain reason, but I'm not sure if that's going to help you or not. So if you look at the ordered pairs, I put all of the X's in red. So all of the X's, so these are the X's, I put them in red. We had negative 4 in the first ordered pair, 0 from the second ordered pair, and 4 from the third ordered pair. Then I did all the Y's in blue. So those are the second numbers here. So these are all the Y's. That's how far you go up or down on the Y axis. You have 3 with the first one, you had 2 with the second one, and you had 1 with the third one. Using that information, you can find other points that would be on a line with all of those. So if we were to graph those on the line, we'd go negative 4, 3, then we would have 0, 2, we'd have 4, 1, and we can find out if those are in a straight line, which they should be, what would be another point? Like, what's the point right there? We would be able to figure that out. So you can do it by this. Look for the pattern. If you look right here, what are the X's doing? It went from negative 4 to 0. Well, it went up 4. And then it went from 0 to 4. Well, it went up another 4. So if we would go up another 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, okay? And then we look at the same thing on the other side. This one's going down 1. This one's going down 1. So if we went down 1 more, we would end up at 0. So if we see the point, 8 for my x, 0 for my y, 8, 0, that point will also be on the line. That's what it was looking for. It's looking for you to give it another point that would be on that line. Now, the thing is, you really only have to look at 2 points and look at what happens with 2 points if you know that you are looking at a line. If you know you are looking at what's called linear. Linear means line. So in number 2, I just took the first 2 points. What do we do here? We go up 1. So our x has to go up 1. So it went from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2. And then our y, what did it do? It went down 2. Again, we'd need to go down 2. So this would be 2. So 2, 2 would be our answer for number 2, or an answer. It's not the only one because there's an infinite number of points on the line, but because lines go forever in both directions, but that's one that I'm positive is on there. For number 3, my x went from 0 to 2, so it went plus 2. So if I go plus 2, I get to 4. And my y's went from negative 2 to 4. Negative 2 up to 0 is plus 2. From 0 up to 4 is plus 4 more. So this went plus 6. So I would have to plus 6 on that one, and it would give me 10. Well, actually, that point was already given to you. It was the other point that was given to you, but we could find another one. So if we added 2 to this 4, it would give me 6. And if I added 6 to this 10, it would give me 16. So that's going to be another point on that line. So those are all of the way that you can find. What's really easy, guys, is if you can actually graph these things. If you can graph them, then you can easily see. So if you have the ability to print out the lesson, then it's so much easier because you can just put it on a ruler or put a ruler on it to make sure that you have a nice straight line. And wherever it touches another point, you will be able to know that that point will also be correctly on this line and part of what you would do for a linear equation for that one. All right, then we had this review right here. Let me get the glare out of it. Okay, then we had this review of solving this equation. Okay, what do we do first? We do distributive property. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down our plus 1. On the other side, we're ready to do combining like terms. So we have x plus x plus x. That's 3 x's. And then we have plus 5 and plus 1. We can put those together because they're like terms. We have plus 6. Here we still have a couple of like terms to do. So we would have 3x plus 6 equals 3x plus, and we can add those together, 7. Well, that doesn't even make sense because we know that these guys, since they're on opposite sides of the equal sign, they're going to end up knocking each other out. Because when I do minus 3x on one side, I have to do it to the other side. Those are gone, and I get 6 equals 7. Well, 6 doesn't equal 7. So if 6 doesn't equal 7, then I know the answer to this is no solution. Remember those words? Some of you said you couldn't remember those words. No solution. Some people said 6 equals 7. Really? Does 6 equal 7? All right, guys. So then for numbers 5 through 10, we needed to remember how to do exponents. Everybody's favorite. So here they are. I don't know if we can get a little closer on that one. All right, let's try that. All right, so this one I accidentally erased. So for number 5, when we have division and they're the same base, keep the base, subtract the exponents. So the answer to number 5 would be 10 to the 14th. For number 6, we're multiplying, same bases, keep the base, add the exponents. So we would end up with 7 to the 14th. They just happen to be the same exponent on that. Number 7, we are multiplying. So again, we're going to add the exponents, same base, keep the base, add the exponents. Negative 2 plus 6, or plus 8 is 6. Guys, how did you miss this one? Come on, the same number on top of itself in a fraction is always 1. But if you want to do it the way we've been doing it working with exponents, we've got keep the base, 10. 7 minus 7 is 0. So you'd have 10 to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. All right, on this one, some of you did okay, but you forgot a major rule. The only time you're allowed to leave a negative exponent is if we're working with scientific notation, which we're not. So let's see what happens here. When I have keep the base 6 and add negative 3 and negative 5, I get 6 to the negative 8th. Well, I'm not allowed to do that, so I have to take the reciprocal. Remember that? 1 over 6 is the reciprocal of the base. Keep the exponent attached to what it was attached to, but make it positive. And finally, when we have parentheses with numbers on both sides, nothing's in between, we multiply. So we have 4 to the 3 times 8, which is 4 to the 24th. Okay, that's the end of lesson 1. If you have any questions on it, you need to email me your questions. All of that should have been fairly simple for you. It should have been pretty much a review for you. Okay, so the next thing that we had to do was we had to do the notes that went after lesson 1. Of course, my computer shut off on me. Did you like looking in my ear there? All right, so our notes for lesson 2. The first one asks, what is a grid with horizontal axis, so horizontal and vertical lines? Though that is this thing. This is not a graph. This is a coordinate plane. Coordinate plane. This is not called X. This is called the X-axis. X-axis. So it's not just X. And this isn't just Y. This is the Y-axis. If you don't have these answers correct, write them down and then go back into the computer and correct them and put them in there for yourself correctly. Not for me, for you. You guys need to know this stuff if you don't. Okay, number 2, where the X and Y axes intersect is the origin. Some of you said the point of origin. That's okay, but we'll just call it the origin. It's the origin. The origin is always 0, 0. I half erased that because I touched it, but the origin is 0, 0. That's the coordinates or the ordered pair for it. Number 3, the 4 sections are called the quadrants. Number 4, the 2 numbers, when they're together, when you have 2 numbers together in the parentheses like that, that is not called just coordinates, because this is the X coordinate, this is the Y coordinate, but together it's called an ordered pair, because that's the order that they need to be in, and there's 2 of them, so it's pair, ordered pair. In the ordered pair, the first one's always X, and the second one's always Y, so your next answers for number 4 are X and Y. Number 5, by the way, I have the answers all right here for you. So number 1 is the coordinate plane, with X-axis and Y-axis. Number 2 is the origin, and it's at 0, 0. Number 3 are the quadrants. Number 4 is an ordered pair, and they're always in the form of X and then Y. How far you go across, how far you go up and down. All right, number 5. If you have this, so you have a bunch of ordered pairs and they're inside these little squiggly lines, that's called a relation, because they're all related to each other. They would all be, in our case, we're doing linear equations, we're working with linear lines, points. So the relation that they would all have is they would all be on the same line. If you take just all the X ones, so the first ones, you take the 3 and the 5 and the 2. If you just take those ones, the 3 and the 5 and the 2, and you put them together, that's called the domain. Those are all the X values. That's the domain. Later, we're going to tell you it's another name. There's 3 names for it. It's the domain. It's the X values. It's also called the input values. Okay? Then the other ones, the second ones in each ordered pair, -4, 6, and 1, those ones are all the y values, which I partially erased that because I touched it, or the range. Those are called the range. All of the y ones, all of the y's in the relation, those are the range, the y values. Okay, so that's the stuff all about coordinate plane and all of that kind of stuff and graphing. But once we get a line, how much a line slants, whether it slants a lot or a little or not at all or the other way, that's called the slope. Slope is a very, very important word that we're going to learn lots and lots about, hopefully in the next week or so. Okay, so here's the thing. You guys, you need to have this stuff, especially if you're taking Algebra 1 next year. You have to understand what we're doing. If you have questions, you need to ask me. I don't care if you send me videos. I don't care if you send me emails. You need to ask me if you're not understanding, and we'll try to get through this. So today we don't have any new assignment, except we're going to have our IXL for the week. Some of you aren't doing real great on your IXL. Please get it all done, okay? I'm not just trying to give you stuff to keep you busy. I'm trying to give you stuff that you're going to need, that you're going to wish you knew. Okay, do your best with it. Ask me questions if you don't get it. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can, whether I get back to you with a video or whether I get back to you in email. I don't know. We're all just doing the best we can here. The other thing is on YouTube, there is a video that we made. I made it for you guys, but all your teachers sent me stuff and I put it all together, and it is called Ottawa Elementary Staff, Ottawa, Ohio. So if you haven't seen it yet, I hope you get to see it, because we miss you lots and we want to tell you to just keep trying and keep hanging in there and keep doing your thing and don't give up. And I know it's kind of boring and all that kind of stuff and you miss your friends and all that, but just keep trying, okay? We need you to do your best. All right, that's it. You guys stay healthy, stay home, wash your hands, all that good stuff. Keep your hands away from your face and be good. Be good to each other. Bye. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy day.